Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestling for Life Network. Welcome to the Dirt Sheet Debate, where we're going to dive into the hot topics in wrestling right now. Lots of dirt sheets, lots of social media fun, and we kind of go at the IWC a little bit here today. Plus, we'll go at each other with me and these two pretty faces on the screen. It's going to be a good one. Get in that chat. Let us know what's on your wrestling mind tonight. But like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons. And we're going to have a fun one, folks. Let's go. Let's go, folks. Welcome back to the Wrestling for Life Network. Like I said, this is the Dirt Sheet Debate. We haven't done one of these in a while. We're looking forward to it. We're just going to take some hot topics that are out in the wrestling world, and we're going to banter about it for a little while. Hope everyone out there is happy, healthy, and safe. Happy Friday, Junior. The weekend is upon us. Hope everyone's doing well. But to this side of me, there's Anthony. To that side of me, there's Big Nick. How are we all doing, folks?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its Tag Stream Trios champions of the world. The man who puts the T in TNA, Ringside Anthony, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. I am Big Nick, and I'm going to just get this out of the way fast. Of whoever came up with the idea to split up Lash and Jakara, just go and get these hands. But how we doing tonight? I know we got a lot of things to talk about, but they go get these hands. They got to run the fade.
Right. The man's been waiting all day to get that off his chest. That's good. We're off to a good start. But how you doing, Anthony?
I am good. I'm ready to dive into some of these topics in the wrestling world over the past, couple of days, couple of months. It's a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, as usual, the wrestling world is not giving us a shortage of things to talk about. Lots going on between the wrestling shows, but seems like there's even more going on outside of the wrestling shows. Who's coming and who's going, the new hot terms out there that people love to throw around, trying to have the debate between having wrestling fandom and just apparently not liking any wrestling at all, which is always a trick. But Nick, how you doing over there, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. As you can see, I'm chomping at the bit already to talk about this. We were talking about it before we were live. It's been a minute since we've done one of these, so I'm ready to throw on the gloves here. I'm ready to throw some jabs.
All right. So for everyone out there, if you haven't played along before, get in that chat. You can let us know what's on your wrestling mind. Is there anything we should talk about here tonight? And get our 2 cents on. And again, don't forget all our live streams. We're back at it tomorrow. Friday Night SmackDown is going to be a fun one. But yeah, get in that chat. Don't be quiet. Don't be shy. Are you gentlemen ready to start this one off? I'm going to start this one off purposely for Nick. But big topic on the minds of all the wrestling fans. Logan Paul has an issue with the WWE champion over on Raw, and it may be future gold for Logan.
Not no way, not no how, not no way, not no how. We've talked about this of Logan's the guy you put somebody against if they want to be 100% babyface. Like you honestly right now could put John Cena versus Logan Paul. John Cena's babyface. Fair enough. I just saw what you saw. But yeah.
Sorry.
That's a whole nother thing. I got you. No, see, I knew this. I anticipated, so we're on the same page. I anticipated the moments. But yes, right now with Logan Paul, I won't deny that he's good in the ring. I don't like his fucking promos, honestly, at this point. I think he's a terrible talker. But he's good in the ring. He just should never, ever be a world champion. Like they put him versus Jey Uso to solidify Jey Uso as your babyface champion right now. This is the best pivot, the best challenger that they could have out the gate for Jey Uso. Logan Paul has to lose this match. Like you're not going to get anyone that's going to cheer for Logan Paul ever.
Anthony,
his own mother don't even like him for all I know.
So when it comes to Logan Paul, like he's really good in the ring. Like I don't think that's deniable here. I was kind of surprised that they chose Logan Paul to be Jey Uso's first, challenger for this. I'm slightly excited for the match. I am excited for the match. What would really be I know there's a lot of people in the IWC, in the internet wrestling community that want to see Jey Uso have a short reign. The big thing would be here is if WWE would pull the trigger and have Jey Uso's reign be very, very short, and it's Logan Paul. You talk about some massive heat in the wrestling community. I would just want him to win it just to see the heat, not for him to win the title, just to see the outrage, the backlash, the hate from it, the explosion. But according to Nick, and I believe he's right when it comes to this, they're using this to push Jey Uso as a top babyface because Logan Paul is hated.
Oh, I 100% agree with that in the sense of, I mean, with all the doubters out there, all the haters that popped up around WrestleMania against Jey, Logan's a great guy to, rally the troops and bring everyone back together and forget about that. All right, he won now, but we hate Logan so much. We have to cheer for Jey. So it's perfect. But man, I think there's gold in Logan's future. I think as far as Anthony hit it right on the head, man, the rage. Are they ballsy enough to pull the trigger on Logan Paul being the champ, chasing him around? Now, there's a clip going around out there. The man said he is dedicated to pro wrestling. Turned down $15 million.
I'm out here just questioning. First, I realized I was looking the wrong way because I forget everything's mirrored. So I was looking on my screen at Anthony, glaring at him, and realized I should have been glaring the other way.
Welcome to my world.
Right. Yes, I know. I get it. But it's just, what did I do to y'all? Do you not want me on the channel anymore or something? Because that's where I would be at if Logan Paul is your world champion. Because just how can you root for this man? I get he's supposed to be the heel upon heels. Like, Dom got incredible heat and everything, but it's not the same as what Logan gets. Logan gets literal fuck you, go away heat and everything, which is why he is the ultimate line of demarcation of, hey, you want to get somebody over as a babyface? Put him against Logan. I don't know how committed he is. I don't know how much I want to see him. Does Logan get watered down if he's there week in and week out a little bit? Like, he's already kind of, to me a bit. I mean, he's good in the ring. I don't like him on the mic. He's clearly a superhero. You see him every week. Does it get watered down?
I don't think so. I think there's a level of I'm curious to see what this guy does if he's around more, if he's actively involved in chasing a baby face, or again, if he wins the title and you line up baby faces, everyone's going to be dying to watch this guy get his ass kicked. And if he finds way after way after way to not, the meltdown's just going to be epic.
I think you're the only person that's openly, publicly said that you want more Logan Paul on your screen right now.
I'm just saying, he's good for business.
Yeah, but
undeniably,
he is good. He's going to get eyes and everything, but that's why I'm wondering if you use that and just keep it as a bit of a sideshow, as the special attraction, as he's busy gallivanting, doing this, that, and the third, so he can pop in and pop out, and you stay that course of he's got the heat. Like, I could see him being a U.S. champ, an IC champ, just never a fucking world champ. That would just hot tooey on everything.
He's got everything you want him to have.
I don't like him on the mic, honestly.
He's fine on the mic, and people love booing him. Don't you think?
That's all it is. Is he doesn't have to say anything. It's just he could literally sit there with the mic and go this and go boo.
Perfect.
I mean, it's heat, right?
It's heat,
but it's the wrong kind of heat. It is go away.
How is it the wrong kind of heat?
Someone get the hook heat.
Well, how is it the wrong kind of heat?
Well, think about it. With Dirty Dom got the most, was literally setting the tone for what getting heat in pro wrestling at that point was. And then they instantly flipped the second he won the IC belt. Dirty Dom, dirty. Because we still love the guy. We love to boo him. We just boo Logan because get the fuck out of here. We don't want you.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people felt that way about Dom. Like, why are you here? You don't belong here. No.
We were cheering for this man all the way back when he was teaming with his daddy and everything like that. Is when he should sit there. No, we were saying he should turn, and he's been in the business for a minute.
Go away or go to NXT.
Nah.
Come on, Anthony.
I mean, when it comes to Logan Paul, like I do see in the future, and I'm not saying at Backlash, but I do, if he's going to be in this for the long haul, which he said he is, but I don't know how true it is, just like Nick, I do see him as a potential world champion. I think Triple H allows that to happen. I'm not gonna lie. Seems like Triple H is, really likes Logan Paul. He books Logan Paul over AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I mean, he's been in a champion versus champion match against Cody Rhodes last year at what was it, Night of Champions or King and Queen of the Ring. He's been in the ring with Roman Reigns for the world title already at Crown Jewel. So they want him somewhere in the main event scene, and we might not like it, but it looks like it's going to head that way eventually.
He can wrestle, and he's a special attraction, but he's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's to me what it is, of never world champ. He can compete for it. Cool, you're a special attraction. You come out with a gold-plated Charizard, all this and everything. He can go in the ring. He's even got under Hangman Page's skin and everything, was doing the same move set. I know I said move set.
Better.
Yeah.
You left out the word better.
Either way, but he can go in the ring, all of that. That's fine. I just never, ever, ever, I will be heartbroken. I will be torn asunder if Logan Paul is a world champion.
Logan Paul is literally everything you want: wrestling skills, mic skills, and charisma. How can you hate that for wrestling? That's some real hater shit. Point to the doll. You lost me at the end, Boston, but thank you.
Right there.
Like, I think that's all you want. The guy brings in eyes. The guy sells tickets. He's connected in a lot of ways, especially to a younger audience. And then it's not like he goes out and gives shit matches. He delivers in that ring. Him and AJ was a good match.
So he goes over Jay, then what?
And then you just line up baby faces to chase him around. I love it. I think you come get me. And he would be so fucking hated.
There isn't, though, a lineup of baby faces. We've talked about this. Right now, WWE's gone the way of the heel and everything. So you don't have a ton of baby faces, especially on Monday Night Raw.
And Sammy's always a good sacrifice.
That would be that would almost be a goddamn betrayal of Sammy turns around and, takes Jay's world title that he lost to Logan.
Right. Now it's even better storytelling.
No. Well, I can't picture, can you picture a Logan over a Cena? A Logan over a Roman?
No.
A Logan over a Seth? All right, so we're knocking down pegs here. Oh, okay, he's the best, so we're knocking down pegs here.
That's the advantage of a two-belt system, though. That's why Jey Uso got to be champion. If there was one belt, we wouldn't have
this conversation.
But we still, even though, see Jay potentially dropping it to Gunther, dropping it to a Seth, dropping it to a Braun. Would you have Logan go over Braun? Is on that totem pole?
Maybe.
I know. No, not right now. Not what you're doing with Braun. So that's the thing, is Logan still on a peg down.
I mean, realistically, you wouldn't book that match, right?
Well, yes, but if we're talking in fantasies and fallacies, if we're talking about all these baby faces that we're going to have line up, I'm waiting for somebody to name a few.
I feel like it's just a lot of people hate Logan Paul, so it doesn't matter what he's up to. That's what I feel like.
Can I say both?
Maybe.
I think I can't deny I just do not oh no. I don't like Logan Paul at all. No way, no how. I admit he is talented in the ring. He is probably one of the best celebrity wrestling crossovers. I will not be I will have a crash out as a wrestling fan if Logan Paul is a world champion.
I kind of want, that's part of, I think, why I want it to happen. I will be live.
What did I do to you? Why don't you like me?
That's where I am. That is exactly where I am. I want to see the Nick crash out, and I want to see the rest of the wrestling world crash out.
I want to watch it.
Logan Paul is world champ.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
I'm vibing with it because I do think, and again, I mean, it is what it is. On a personal level, as far as some of the things he's done away from wrestling, it's not like I'm high-fiving the dude for it. But if you don't know anything about his life and you just watched him on this show, you see all the son of a bitch. You see all the potential that he brings to the table. I mean, again, I don't think he has bad matches.
Yeah, but you're not just finding him if he's this big star attraction, if he's this special thing, you're bringing him in because you know who Logan is and you know what Logan is. That's the thing.
Well, in that defense, I actually did not know Logan Paul when he first showed up in WWE.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
I had no recollection or knowledge of what that man is. So when I first saw him and first started to see him in the ring, I was like, "Oh, this man is legit, right?" It wasn't until I actually started to do research and I was like, "Oh, this is why people hate him. This is why people hate him. This is why people hate him."
It didn't take long, did it? It was 1 or 2 searches down, tabs down from a Google search, wasn't it?
So honestly, like if I didn't do the research, I probably to this day, like, you know, still wouldn't really know who Logan Paul is. Like I don't go out of his way to watch like his Impulse show or anything like that. I don't keep up with his content on YouTube. I found out what he was because I wanted to know who he was, but that's it. You know.
And God bless you, you sweet summer child.
and I get it. And I mean, maybe this is the last thing we'll kind of say on it, but we'll wrap it up because I know we're not going to agree. But I think ultimately, I'm waiting for that big kind of moment just to watch the reaction. It's kind of like the Damian Priest cash in. Like I want
no, that would be 10 times. This is tenfold. That you thought that was bad. This I'll walk off. You might not see me again.
I'll walk off. 52% of the chat's going with no. So neck and neck, right? 52% though, slight edge to no. And
they're on my side though, at least as a spite, you know. Oh, I see Canadian Nick's on my side and everything. Shout out Nick, but out there on Twitch too, by the way, as we're out there Twitchers. But yeah, I see MDB saying I'm drinking Haterade. Boston's agreeing with Anthony because of course, all of this. But yeah,
and that's his argument. I'm sticking to it. Again, it will be very interesting to see what happens. Do I think Jay loses the title at Backlash? I feel like too soon. So Logan's a good guy to beat. Ultimately, there's a great guy to make Jay feel like a good guy.
Can we all at least agree on that? He is the ultimate yardstick. He is the line of demarcation. Yo, I saw that. I was gonna click on it, but yes, 100%. I'll know that in a second. But he's like the heel to put against somebody if they want to be babyface. But I love Lady B's comment. Dark side of the stream, the big Nick crash out coming soon.
Right? Let's go. He's got talent, won't argue, but I do not like him. So no matter what, do not want him to be a world champ. I think that's the gist. I think this is the biggest thing. People hate him. And I think that's the thing.
Literally hate him. Like not figuratively, not in character, hate him. Like literally hate him.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the next topic as we transition out, folks. I hope you guys are having fun out there. Again, don't be quiet. Don't be shy. Share this link. Be a part of all the shows. We got more coming your way all month long. There's a ton of wrestling. It feels like it never ends. Like May is packed. So it's going to be crazy.
Bro, I saw you send out the schedule for like June, and I'm like, when did these shows start popping up?
And then there's probably going to be 3 or 4 more added.
Right.
But ladies and gentlemen, hot topic in the wrestle sphere right now in the universe of all the fans, especially on the internet. TNA, I think, is starting to do well enough, or AEW is starting to do poor enough that somehow they've met in the middle. And now there is a pretty substantial debate on who is the number 2 brand in North America.
Right. I guess y'all want me to start?
I was gonna say, I don't know. We all just kind of look towards. I didn't know. I'm looking on my end towards the TNA guy.
So I guess I'll start off by saying absolutely TNA is not the number 2 company right now. AEW still has the money. AEW still has the US TV deal. It's not in the cards for TNA right now to be number 2. TNA has better stories. TNA might have better matches. TNA might be more consistent than AEW. But as of right now, TNA doesn't have the money. TNA doesn't have the US TV deal right now. That could change in the future. But as TNA continues to expand, you know, that could happen. They just signed a deal to air in Latin America. And like 60 countries, right? So they're on the rise and trying to expand their viewership. But right now, I can't be a TNA fan and just say straight out they're number 2. They're number 2 in my heart, but they're not number 2 against AEW.
Okay. I mean, again, strong. I mean, it's a lot.
I'm gonna say it. This man took my whole goddamn argument.
Right. I mean, again, there's not much to be said. I mean, AEW still puts on solid matches. Their show size. I mean, I saw today they're averaging 2,700 this year in 2025. That's not a great average for the company they used to be. Right? Remember when they were packing buildings? That's would be a very big concern. And I know there's a lot of brags out there, but I think ultimately it's funny to think they're only averaging 2,700. I mean, and TNA's got to be close to that, right? In that ballpark.
They have to be. If you average in Access TV, which I think Access TV gets about 120,000 viewers for TNA each week, and then I don't know if they count the streaming like being on the app. I don't know if they count that. They could roughly be around that ballpark, but we just don't know the true numbers, and I don't think we will really know the true numbers until they actually get a TV deal. And I know the chat is probably surprised I'm saying they're not number 2, but like, if you put money involved, if you put network deals involved and everything like that, they're not number 2. Now, if you take the money away, if you take the TV deal away, absolutely. But it's not there.
Absolutely, my guy. Well, I do love Nick's comment here of it's crazy that it's called Access TV, but it's hard to access.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's literally, my guy. I'm so surprised that you said that because that was literally everything. I was like, Anthony's going to be out here hard in the paint for TNA. And are we going to talk about the TV deal? Are we going to talk about, this and that? Like the fact that Tony Khan can sign anybody he wants because he can just throw any sort of dollar bills at anybody. So, yeah, it is very much they are number 2 in your, programs, number 3 in your hearts type of thing when it comes to AEW of like to the actual wrestling fan who watched the program inside and out and everything. TNA is your number 2. To every statistical measure, everything business-wise, AEW's number 2.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I thought maybe this might be a little more of a battle, a little more of a debate, but we all seem very reasonable about the circumstances.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's nobody's jumping on any hills, and no, but I mean, ultimately, I think that's valid across the board, and I think. We brag a lot about TNA pay-per-views. I know AEW takes a lot of pride in their pay-per-views, and 9 times out of 10, we're a big fan of what they do on their pay-per-views. So, again, value-wise, there's a lot of valid arguments in what you said, Anthony. But, I mean, ultimately, what they're doing, TNA's moving up that rank. I really want them to see if they could get that TV deal. I think they need to replenish a little bit. I'd love to see the knockouts get back to what the knockouts used to be.
Right.
Like, I don't even know. Well, I know who the TNA women's tag champs, but again, it feels like that's the strongest part of maybe they got to split some of these teams up and spread out the knockouts a little bit. And they just got Indy. That might help.
Well, AEW has a grip on number 2, but that grip is very much slipping right now. That's
how close are they? Like, is this getting neck and neck?
I think TNA. Well. Do we want to introduce the idea of NXT as the third brand, or is that still stays under the WWE brand?
I mean, we can throw it in there, but I think it's almost a little bit. I feel like
that's still, the invading army that's just going to wall up everybody here a little bit because they've still got the juggernaut behind them. When it comes to TNA versus AEW, I think the biggest difference is if TNA had a TV deal. If I could regularly watch TNA on a Thursday, and maybe if they moved some of their special shows instead of going against this or going against that and moved it straight to a Thursday, own Thursday nights like AEW tried to own Wednesdays, and do that, have a TV deal, the money surprisingly almost might negate itself out because of how you get booked. Like, I bet you Deanna's on one hand really glad she took a payday, but if TNA was on TV, she'd be probably scratching and clawing to get her out of her contract to go back over to TNA. Yeah. Same thing with Taya, a few other people. Like, if TV is a great equalizer right now in this equation.
Yeah, the biggest separation with AEW and TNA is a TV deal. You can have a great TV deal and put on a better product than AEW without having the money. Because the problem with AEW is the booking. If AEW had consistently good booking, honestly, this would not be in the conversation because TNA would not be in this conversation.
Right.
But the problem is TNA is on a very, very small network. If they were back on, which, you know, they were on Spike TV. Spike TV is now Paramount Plus in the Paramount Network in the United States. If they were back on Paramount Network, if they were, you know, on like a USA or NBC or any of that, easily TNA will wipe the floor because then there'll be more eyes on the product. The number one thing I see from non-TNA fans that want to watch TNA is they don't have access to it. And I don't blame them for not paying $9.99 a month to watch TNA on a paywall. I don't blame them for not doing that. That's a lot of money to just watch one weekly show. If you're just tuning in for the weekly show and the monthly special, that's a lot of money. But if they had that TV deal, it would be more eyes on the product, and easily I feel like it eclipsed AEW in a heartbeat. But that TV deal is what's really struggling and holding TNA back. And I know they're in the works. It's been talked about by Matt Hardy. It's been talked about by Jeff and Santino Marella and Frankie Kazarian. That's something they're trying to do, but right now it's just not in the cards for them.
And the crazy thing is, in Canada, I would argue it's almost easier to get TNA weekly shows now than it is to get the AEW. Like AEW, especially like if AEW is doing anything special, it moves, and then we don't get it in Canada. You got to go find it, or you got to Jack Sparrow it. Like, but TNA signed a deal here in Canada and took an old spot from WWE. So it was vacant. TNA slid in. Now we're getting access to TNA, even TNA's library in a lot of places in Canada, which is amazing. And so it almost feels closer.
And the rumor, you know, I don't know how true it is, but the rumor is that the Canadian Sports Network decided not to go with AEW and chose TNA instead. And so if that's really the reality, that means there's a want for TNA wrestling. It's just TNA wrestling has to put themselves out there.
Well, and the TV deal is the greatest, is the quickest and easiest and the closest attainable equalizer that TNA can grab. You're not going to be able to compete with Tony's money. WWE, even under TKO, theoretically can't compete with Tony's money. That's why even when Stephanie signed and she did a whole interview of like, well, AEW offered me more money. The TV deal for TNA is the great equalizer in all of this. It's the most obtainable, easiest obtainable. And then that's when it really gets to brass tacks of, like you even said, of AEW has enough talent that if they book it properly, this isn't a discussion.
Right.
This is really, if we want to talk about fumbling, this is AEW fumbling of you shouldn't be here. You're Shador Sanders right now of you should be first round, second round. You're out here in the fifth round a little bit.
Exactly. This, honestly, if AEW was doing extremely well, like when they first began and a couple of years after, this would never be in the conversation. And I love TNA. I really do, but this would not be in the conversation. But their booking is just terrible as of late.
Yeah. Is it surprising that there is such a, like, I mean, I see a lot of it, like the AEW fans don't kind of dismiss TNA a lot. It's developed into this kind of rivalry between the two with the fan bases. I mean, even going as far as there was a lot of heat on the Leon Slater spot from Rebellion. I thought a lot of people upset again for something that didn't bother, that like nothing to do with you. He's okay. And everybody had a 2 cents opinion, and a lot of wrestlers, you know, came out defending it. So it's kind of interesting to watch the heat between the two companies.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fandom it's very strong now between TNA and AEW, and that's because WWE, like it was strong between WWE and TNA for a long time. I mean, and AEW for a long time, but because TNA is on the rise, the AEW fans want to pick on TNA because, you know, some of the fans are outspoken and saying, you know, they're the better company. And I mean, fans have their own opinions when it comes to TNA. I personally do believe TNA is the better company, but until TNA gets that better deal, TNA is going to be number 3.
Amen. Amen. And Nick, any final thoughts on this one?
Well, like Anthony was saying, if it does the big turn of, you know, I can't keep throwing my slingshot at Goliath anymore. So maybe I just pick on the the run to the litter here a little bit.
Right.
And just last quick thing I see this from Crispy Chicken for You, making me walk KFC. Does New Japan enter the conversation?
That's a tough one, especially because New Japan's in a weird spot, right? Like we've watched kind of the decline of New Japan over the last little while. I know it's not
the decline or the robbery of the cupboards are bare now.
I would say so. Slim pickings.
That's the thing, and especially though too with it being like in the U.S. as far as like a U.S. audience, this tricky. Is really where the conversation. Yeah, it's hard to be up at 3 a.m. to watch a New Japan show.
Right. Again, I want to touch on this real quick, but $10 super chat from Mr. Spaz. And remember, folks, super chats are your way to guarantee we click on you. Kitty threatening, Sticky Chew, Tony Carhill, Big Love, Cheap Plug. New state of wrestling is now where you vid and pod, along with a few highlight clips. Have y'all seen? Be cool if you did. Go check it out, folks. Give our man Spaz some love. And you guys ready to jump on to the next one?
Absolutely.
All right. What do we got next? Okay. So we're gonna go into a little bit of this. The new hot phrase, the new catchphrase, and a lot of debate. And I feel like this one had to be here because I feel like I need to educate this little man real quick on something. But nonetheless,
we fucking call him little.
Not I think Dave. So vain over there. Come on now. But yeah, so we've done a lot of talk about the kind of the defender of AEW, but nonetheless, benching. This person. Now we're bench tracking. Who's on the bench, who's not on the bench. Last night on a live stream, I went through the entire women's roster and we kind of broke down where everybody is. 85% of them are MIA. It's crazy. But it's this hot topic right now. And I know you didn't want to talk about it, Nick, but are you guys catching all this shit?
Before Nick speaks, because I know Nick is going to have a long thing about benching.
I'm trying.
I just want to say I hate new terms that the IWC likes to bring up. I hate the word benched. I hate the word aura. I hate the word fumble and anything else they want to bring up. I'm so tired of it. All right, Nick, you can speak now. I just wanted to say that.
Thanks. Yeah, no, 100%. Well, I know for a fact, KJ, you and I have battled on this hill many a times about benching and not benching and this and that and again. What?
To bench or not to bench?
Exactly. I challenge you to a duel. But now at this point, when Dave's mentioning, like literally, I just even mentioned in our group chat, I feel like this has been overused and overworked at this point. Like Anthony was saying, it's fucking fumbled at this point. It's this, it's that. It's just the term gets used so much that it loses all goddamn meaning and any sort of context to it. Like I chuckled when we were talking about this because Cultaholic put a whole goddamn tweet about it with Dakota Kai. I'm sure you got that too. But even I looked on their webpage, their opening headline, folks. In case you didn't know who's out here grifting, their opening headline on their webpage is Dakota Kai is benched.
Yeah.
When the fuck did that come up? Because all she did was show up that she's got some new curls and that she's not injured, that's why she's out there on the sidelines. So I know we have battled, but now we are aligned in this of like, can we just make this shit go away? Stop. The benching thing has become too goddamn much. Let's be honest. They all fucking do it. If we're going to split hairs and brass tacks over, well, we don't sign somebody and then bench them versus we don't bench them, period. All of that. There is a difference in benching. Like Ricky Starks was a benching. Wardlow was a benching. Dakota Kai right now, I don't think is a benching. That is, I'm waiting till damage control can be a thing, what have you. I can bring you back into something with creative.
Even Natty doesn't think she's benched, though, man. Like Natty
sat there and said, real quick, I saw it from where she said with Hunter, he doesn't owe me a story.
She's not benched. She just don't have nothing right now. And again, some people would say, well, that's benching, but you can't have something for everybody. Again, what do we do? If the people out there had it their way, we'd have 17 champions, and then we'd have 17 mid-card champions. I know it's not AEW, relax. But, there'd be all the champ, like everybody would be a champ and everybody would be in the main event and we'd have 47-hour shows because, everybody gets a fucking participation medal. I don't quite get how we pull this off, but some people won't be used. Now, has there been people put on the back burner or bench because they're not clicking, it's not working, they need training? Yes. But if you've ever played sports, you understand when you get dressed, suited up, and you're ready to play, and they ask you to sit down, well, then you are benched. People that you haven't even signed to your team yet, that you're just recruiting for next year, can't bench them. So Dave uses this loose term, and we're trying to be positive about the wrestling. But then you got guys that are supposed to be leaders in the community. They're the ones that are putting this kind of nonsense out. Like you said, cultaholic. It's crazy across the board.
This is why we left the community.
Everybody can't be used. It's not possible. If you've watched any TV show, there's certain times where actors don't appear and they're regulars on a TV show in certain episodes. I think Nick brought up a great point a couple of days ago. If you've watched any of The Walking Dead, there were times where there were episodes where it was focused on one character, focused on two characters. We didn't see them for a number of episodes. Everybody can't be used. It's impossible. Like KJ said, if that's the case, then we need to have 17 championships, 18 championships. We need to have a mid card title, a mid card title. We need to have a lightweight, title. It's just not possible. I'm a huge Alexa fan. I'm disappointed that Alexa is not on TV, but they don't have anything for Alexa if her planned story is to be a part of the Wyatt Six. And right now, some of the members are not healthy enough to be on TV. So until that happens, Alexa Bliss might not be on TV. It's just, that's just the thing.
And is that part of the problem? Is a lot of people like Dave just assume the situation as far as, well, they're not using her, she's benched. But what if they've had meetings and Dakota said, or they've said to Dakota, we're gonna hold you back. Kyrie's almost ready. Asuka's almost ready. The whole crew's almost ready. We're gonna bring everybody back. We're gonna put you out there together. And she understands that, and she's there training and getting ready for her return. I mean, again, I think we have no idea what's going on. You said about Alexa. Yeah, they're not using her. I'm really bummed out. I really expected her to be a part of WrestleMania and a factor. But they seem to be married to something they're about to do. Patience is a virtue.
Well, going back all the way to all these championships, all these mid-card titles, all this, all that, and everything. If everybody if all the raindrops were lemon drops, the gumdrops, now we'd be all bitching about because there's so many titles, because everybody's this. It doesn't mean anything anymore. You can't have it all the way, both ways, all the time. And no, just the chat's been halfway cracking me up out here. Of Kathy saying, we don't see Nick often on Wednesdays. Don't mean he is benched.
Now, I do like John C's comment about Bayley. Now, when it comes to Bayley, I do feel, and I've expressed my opinions loudly over the past 2 weeks, that Bayley should have been in that match. They could have did some other way to get Becky to turn on Lyra. Bayley should have been in that match. We hadn't seen Becky in almost a year. So I do feel indifferent about that. Bayley has been a trooper. Bayley has been holding it down the best she could. I do believe Bayley should have been a part of WrestleMania. And I think that was where I was coming from on social media when I said it's okay when Becky does it, but when Charlotte does it, it's an issue. So,
but does her comments, does her interview with Chris Van Fleet hit that hard if she's had something recently taken away from her? You have something right there that's right in front of you. You can source as an example of, I thought I was going to be on Wrestle. Why aren't I as big as Becky and Charlotte? It's a perfect thing to play into the story. I know it sucks, but let's not act like this is Bayley's first ever WrestleMania appearance or anything like that. Like she's been there and she'll be there again. But it plays perfectly into the story.
I mean, it plays perfectly into the story. Absolutely. I think and this is more because of the internet wrestling community, I have a problem when Charlotte is always the attack of doing the same thing. And Becky is like, oh, it's Becky. She can do it. Like, that's my biggest problem with that. And I that's kind of how I feel. But
Well,
I do agree. I think it's perfect to the story.
yeah, to an extent, you have no choice to twist it into the story. But I think ultimately, though, I agree with everything both of you said. I just feel like when they were teasing that match, and then they announced that match, a lot of the fans were like, "I can't believe,
That's
this.
true.
This is like the most boring match ever." Bailey, nobody, everyone thinks is boring now, and they don't love her anymore. And Lyra hasn't endeared herself, charismatically to the crew yet. So there was this big void on this match until Bailey got pulled. Maybe that was why they were like, "Fuck it, it was lukewarm. Nobody really cares. All right, we'll do this." Maybe. And then people are, I mean, you're right. She should have been there, but it's funny the dynamic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's so condescending, like in the wrestling community, because you have a problem with Lyra, you have a problem with Bailey, then they spin it to do something that could turn out to be great, but then like, oh my God, this is terrible. Bailey should have been on the card. Like it doesn't make sense. You got to stay consistent, and these fans are not consistent. That's why Daniel Bryan said it years ago and called them fickle.
Folks, coming soon to the Wrestling for Life merch store of just fickle in lettering as a shirt, and then just benched with a black and white picture of aluminum bench on the sideline there.
Can we go fickle pickles?
No, just fickle, my guy. I'm not wearing a shirt that says fickle pickle. My wife ain't gonna touch me within 5 feet of me if I'm wearing a shirt saying fickle pickle.
All right. I hate TNA.
That'll be our baseball team. If we ever start a baseball team or a hockey
you
team
go.
or anything like that, we'll be the Fickle Pickles.
Because AW fans are mad they were working with. That is part of it. And again, thank you for the super chat, Spaz. And he followed it up with another one. People are entitled as well. X person isn't here. I demand to know why. Guess what? They don't owe you that. The answer may be personal. Again, I think my best example of this with and again, thank you so much for all your support, Mr. Spaz. The Bray Wyatt one is the worst one for me ever. It drives me nuts with because Bray stepped away, and it was because he walked off on creative. He wasn't happy. He was difficult to work with. Little did anyone know Bray was dealing with something very serious. We've seen it time and time again. Drew McIntyre wasn't happy. He was thrilled to sign a contract and get a sword from The Rock. It's bad form.
And you brought up Bray Wyatt, and that's the one that bothers me the most, because it was so much hate on Bray Wyatt. And then months later, we find out he was sick, but everybody was quiet, didn't want to retract their statements. And then months after that, he passed away, and no one said anything. But he stepped away because he was so angry with creative at that point. This is why you can't take anybody who calls themselves a journalist in the wrestling community as 100%, because they know nothing.
Oh, swinging. I like it. Yeah, okay. So here's our advice. Let's really understand what benched is, and both companies are doing it. I think this was misconstrued from the day one. I think ultimately what he said was, we don't sign people to bench them. So we don't sign somebody that we don't see something in just for the purposes of sitting them on the bench. And it somehow got blown up and twisted into 9 million. I watch people do full out videos and TikToks on you don't understand. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. But ultimately, I think again, it's something that both companies are doing. It's just another, we'll put benched in the headline or sticking on our website because we're sad, and it'll help us get some love.
And like you said, it's you're signing talent not for the intent of benching them. Just like you get hired at a job not to suck, but you might actually get hired at a job and it might not be for you. You get there 3 or 4 months and you're like, yeah, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have, accepted this position. It's not working out. That's just the same here. They don't hire people intent to be like, we're just hiring you so you can sit on the bench and not actually wrestle. If it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out at the end of the day.
I mean, I'll take money to sit on the bench, but anyways, yeah, no, can we just retire this with like goddamn humbled with this and that? Like, stop you. I feel like Inigo Montoya. You keep using that term. I don't think you know what it means.
Right. I mean, I feel like, do we have to like have a funeral for it, a burial, like death? back in
It's
back
so
in the day.
hard to
Right.
say goodbye.
The only time I want to hear the word fumble is when somebody fumbles the ball in football. Yes, I know a little bit about football.
Probably means to watch the Bills game.
Shut the fuck. Hey.
I'm just trying to get you worked up.
Well, you don't have to try and do this right now. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised you're going here with this after everything we were talking about. I thought you were going towards, the toxicity of our city.
Well, I mean, we'll get back to that because there's a guy out there making a lot of rumbles, and I think he's just having a whole lot of fun doing it. But this came up in the chat, so I just thought I'd pull it up real quick. This doesn't really have to be a long conversation, but I misheard it on Tuesday. I thought the ladies were just leaving. They all said farewell, so long.
So all four of them breaking up, that metaphor, okay, that's fine. The meta girls breaking up though, that was a little hard for me to swallow because I really wanted, and Nick, who did the preview with me last weekend, we both were like, we need the meta girls versus Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance for the TNA tag titles, and now we'll never get that match. That's why I'm upset. But other than that, I feel for Jakar a little bit because obviously Lash is the bigger star of the two. So I'm like, where do we put Jakar? Here we know Lash Legend is just going to explode whenever she gets to the main roster. She's, in the same of Bianca Belair and things of that sort when that happens.
Right.
But Jakar, I'm like, I just where do we put you? That's all kind of how I feel.
Do you think I think she's good though.
She is good.
Yeah.
She's just not the bigger of the two.
She's got more work to do.
Yeah, she has some work to do, obviously, by herself. Yeah.
North American champ or go after it.
You can do a Sol Ruka and Jakar feud. I like to see that.
Right. But they were doing so well, Nick.
I'm so mad about all of this. I was right there with you. Thought it was just all right. We've gone from Meta 4 to Meta 2, which we've even joked about, and I've been an advocate because still, even right there, you see it. That's the coldest 4-person entrance in WWE history, right there. That shit is fresh, my guy. I was a fan of Lash when she was out there doing her talk show, which KJ hated as well. Right. And I was a fan of her then. I wished for the longest time. It's sad to see if Lash and Jakara are really done, and they never had a tag title reign on any level, not at NXT, not a TNA, not a WWE, and you were on the doorstep on every level.
Right.
That's just one of those of why are we doing this? You can ditch the guys. Why are you cutting one of your best tag teams right now in a very weak division, especially if you're going to have your champion that's about to be off for allegedly a month or so doing some movie.
Right. I wonder if they dropped the titles before that, but yeah.
Allegedly, that's not the case because they only expect she's going to be gone like a month and a half in her major starring role in this multimedia production of she might only be there for about a month. I don't know of too many actors that show up and, are all the way in a whole movie for only a month, but yes.
Right. So according to sources, Liv Morgan has been cast in Bad Lieutenant Tokyo. Now, our spiteful buddy was out there going jaws are going to drop.
Yes. No jaws dropped. No jaws dropped on this.
Right. And Liv is a jaw dropper. Let's be real. And I mean, I mean, maybe oversold it a little bit. I mean, great for her. Awesome. I don't want to downplay
a little bit.
What's that?
Oversold a little bit is funny to me. Just a little bit, just a bit outside of.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I get where you're going, KJ. We don't want to downplay Liv Morgan's accomplishments, but Fightful, they didn't downplay it a little bit. I mean, they didn't, bring it up a lot of bit. They it's just I had to look up what Bad Lieutenant was, and apparently it's, you know, a reboot of a franchise. So I didn't know what Bad Lieutenant was. I'm thinking the way Fightful was talking was like, it's a future Marvel movie, it's a future DC movie, or it, you know, that's how they made it. That's how they presented it to us. And it's Bad Lieutenant. Now, am I going to watch it? Absolutely, because Liv Morgan is in it, but that's why you can't trust everything these reporters say. Well, so-called reporters.
Again, I mean, yeah, I said she was going to be Barbie's sister in the sequel. Like, let's really go big, right? Like,
right.
She's going to be in some multi-billion-dollar production. I mean, again, great for her. This is more about the reporting of the story. This is amazing for her. Congratulations. But again, another example of, you know, the IWC doing IWC things.
Yeah, you love to see the Hollywood crossover. We talked about it even before this, of Drew's allegedly got roles lined up, this, that, and the third. CM Punk's out there trying to pitch for a rom-com and everything. I mean, I feel at this point, 10 super chats, and we'll do a live stream watching whatever Liv Morgan movie's in and everything. Right. But it was very much of, like, we were on here on Monday, and everyone's, Liv Morgan's about to have a huge week. Liv Morgan, did you know she's about to have a huge week? And it became like so gaslit. I'm like, she better, like, you nailed it with, like, she better be Margot Robbie's sister in that Barbie 2 movie or something out here. Right. And she's out here in Too Fast, Too Politician, Too Tokyo. Right. And I'm just like,
yeah, like she got cast in the Dolly Parton biopic. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? But no, congratulations to her. It's awesome. Quick touch on that, but real quick, touching up on this one and then bouncing away. People are not happy. Why have, like, it almost feels like all this time together that you didn't achieve anything and then decided to high five and say goodbye. That's what I feel like. It feels incomplete.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel a little bit incomplete, and I'm like what Nick said, like this division, the tag team women's division is a struggle, and you break up one of the most popular teams, like that's just wild. It's wild to me.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him. But the biggest takeaway for me with this is a team, like, it shows that NXT can get a faction over. Like they know how to get a group over. Of I know you specifically, because trust me, I remember being me and KJ watching this when they debuted. Yeah. And man, when no soul, it was not about it. And then you see the tide turn a bit and everything. So that's the thing is, I love to see that NXT can still get groups over. Whoa.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, it's what they're there to do, and they've done it very well for a long time. They had a bit of a speed bump known as VKM and Friends, but they got over that, and I think they've come a long way. I like what Michaels is doing. I hope they have a plan. Lash goes to the main roster. Jakara gets a solo run, you know, maybe fine-tunes her talent. They seem to like them and have plans for them. So I hope
Lash and Jakara, though, are much better together than they are split, respectfully. I love Lash. I love Jakara. They are much better together as a tag team than they will ever be separate. And especially in
ever.
Well, I'm going to say right now, respectfully, if you're going to split them apart, Jakara is not on the strongest of footing, because Lash has been the figurehead of that and has the experience and has done the solo work before. Jakara, this is almost reintroducing her or introducing her to solo work. Keep them as a fucking tag team. Build the split versus they all just split all unceremoniously.
Right, it was the Scooby-Doo breakup. Like, just okay, bye everybody. What is happening?
Which one's Velma?
That's but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, next on the docket, real quick, because this one's been fun, and again, the IWC is not happy. I'm convinced that there's a big chunk of the IWC that just simply does not like wrestling of any kind, because I can't find any rave reviews or positivity about anything they see. So there's got to be something they like, but apparently not. But Pat McAfee will take on Gunther, and this shall be interesting. We saw how this all came about, and I think this is going to be a hell of a match. I think this match is going to be impressive. I think the match is going to be fun. And I don't hate Pat the way everyone else does.
I don't hate Pat, but somebody gonna get choked real bad.
Oh, he is. Eventually.
Do you think that this leads to Goldberg?
Why?
I don't know. Internet?
Anthony? Internet?
I sound like goddamn Timmy Turner right there for a minute.
Right.
I've been very, outspoken about how I don't like Pat McAfee on commentary. He annoys me. I think he's loud and just all over the place for me. But when it comes to this match, now I've seen Pat McAfee wrestle live at SummerSlam in Nashville, and I actually really enjoyed the match. I think he fought The Miz. I'm actually excited for this. And I think I'm more excited just to see Gunther beat this man down, because this is Gunther's playground. This is where Gunther is just going to destroy this man. And that's what I'm here to see. But I think people act like Pat can't go in the ring, and like I seen him live, he can go. And I think Pat's gonna get some licks in. I think it'll be a moment where it might be a Gunther Pat back and forth for a minute. I am excited to see the match. Absolutely.
I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be great. Again, he's trained by Rip Rogers. He's been in the ring before. He sells his ass off. Like, he's gonna make Gunther look even bigger than Gunther already looks. Like, Pat's gonna sell the shit out of all of this. I think this is good. I think it's different. It's unexpected. A lot of people, like, when Pat came back, they were, is Pat gonna get in the ring again? Is Pat gonna get in the ring again? Pat's gonna get in the ring. Oh, damn it. I'm like, I think this is something to really keep Gunther away. The only thing that might happen is a double heel turn or a double babyface turn, depending on how you look at it, where people literally start cheering for Gunther to kick the shit out of Pat, like Anthony said.
Right.
Well, and Pat's promo on Raw very much gave this kind of whole feud some wings, and especially if Gunther might be suspended until we pretty much get to Backlash here. But yeah, tap out, blackout, pass out, Gunther in 5.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, and they got enough commentary to fill in if he has troubles. But yeah, I just don't like. I know a lot of people who said they're gonna like get in the ring, and this is gonna be here. I'll put it this way: over under 5 minutes.
Gunther in 5. I initially said 30 seconds, so I guess I have to say the under. Like,
You're going
I
under?
can see what you're saying of this would be the halfway, but there is not a snowball's chance in hell. There is less of a chance that Pat McAfee beats Gunther than there is that Logan Paul beats Jey Uso.
Oh, okay. So it's okay.
I'm gonna be optimistic and go over 5 minutes.
I'm going over 5 for sure.
No.
I think there's going to be a lot of running around and ducking and diving and dodging and ducking and diving or whatever.
You admit it's how funny you can run across the ropes and you can duck, dick, dive, and dodge and all of that, and then still get choked the fuck out.
Yeah, I don't see Pat winning in any way,
Right.
shape, or form. Even if Goldberg is the answer, I think it would be a case of, he slaps the clutch on, he gets the win, won't let go, and then the music hits. Something like that. I can't see Goldberg like jumping over the railing, distracting Gunther, and Gunther gets rolled up by Pat. That'll just cause, I mean, it might be up there with Logan Paul being champ, but ultimately I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to go 8, 9, 10 minutes. There's going to be moments where everyone's like, oh shit, look at Pat go. And then whap. That's what I think.
Right. No, agreed.
There's the terrible way that you bring in Goldberg into this, and it works in 2 ways, and I'll say them fast because trust me, I don't want them to ever happen. Of Goldberg shows up, spears all of that to Gunther, helps Pat win because he's his insurance policy, what have you. Like, you have the big moment of in St. Louis, and we don't need that when we're about to get Rainey versus John. Or you have Gunther taps out Pat pretty fast, just demolish them of, I know how I'm going to get my vengeance back. I've hired in, my hired gun. And then you bring in Goldberg.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't want any of this, by the way. I'm
I
just
don't want any of
throwing
it.
out the theory.
I think it's a good way because we expect Gunther to beat the shit out of whoever they put him in the ring with. So if they book him in a program with whoever, Penta, like he's just going to crush somebody. And there's a few guys out there right now that I don't think you want them to get Steve. Like you put him in there with Karrion Kross. Gunther's probably going to get the W. But I kind of want to see that now that I said that out loud.
Don't worry, we probably will around Money in the Bank.
Oh, I like that. So, I mean, again, I think this is something good for Gunther to do, you know, the rage of the former champion, but he's taking it out on a good old Pat. So I just think there's been a lot of angles like this in the past. It's fun. It's different. Pat gets back in the ring. I think this is going to overachieve.
The roundabout way here to get here isn't a bad thing at all. And it keeps Gunther away from the title. It gives him a minute to kind of, I don't want to exactly say cool off, but kind of refresh a bit. And I like even Kathy mentioned Ilya of if he shows up at some point,
I like
that'd be a little nice little spicy meatball.
Now he could cost Gunther the match.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
But I don't want Pat McAfee and Ilya Dragunov associated, though. That's the only thing of like, no, you are two vastly different personalities. You do not associate.
Yeah, I still go back to the original, like same thing. Like Gunther chokes him out extra, won't let go. Ilya would be way better. I'd be super happy about Ilya coming back. And then if you're setting up like Gunther, Ilya, SummerSlam, strap in, strap on. That's gonna be a good one. No, that's yeah, I like that a lot. Ilya, yes. Again, a lot to be figured out as well. To quickly on a just like 2-second side note, I don't even have an app thing for it. Jeff Cobb retired and is coming to WWE. I love this. I love the internet.
He put that out there of that he retired, and I think it's much more of like maybe y'all will shut the fuck up now a bit now.
Right.
Respectfully, but yeah, well, because even TJP and it's just been a whole bunch of mess of him leaving New Japan, which is just really weird. I think you mentioned it probably first that I heard. I think it works perfect. I know they don't want to be compared to Evolution, but if you're gonna do Evolution and you bring in the Jeff Cobb, he would walk for miles inside this pit of danger.
Is it that Jeff Cobb is retiring and next week we're going to see him on Raw as,
Kev job showing up on WWE Raw.
Yeah, with the G, like I don't know, like are they going to change it up? Like I don't know. That's what I kind of thought maybe. But funny times again. A lot of talk about him. A lot of talk about Thekla. Now the rumor is she's going to AEW, which again don't believe it till you see them walk through the curtain. MCMG was supposed to debut in AEW about 8 months ago. Oops.
Mm-hmm. Still waiting on that.
I think the last thing we're going to talk about tonight, or one of the last things, and then we'll just take a peek at the chat before we get out of here. I actually originally grabbed this clip because it was going to talk about the horrible toxic fans and and we beat that drum hard. That's why we are the WFU. And I think people know where we stand on that, and we're probably going to touch on it here. But as I was looking at this, it kind of made me think of an actual question instead. Is this man like this, or is he literally at this point just trolling everyone as hard as possible? And is it good or bad for business?
Work.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, now I saw earlier a tweet, or not on here, but I saw it on Twitter and everything, of to where Ridge Holland, like somebody was saying about I've never seen NXT with less aura, which is a fucking weird ass comment to say. First off, but to sit there and Ridge is like, so then don't watch, and everyone's like, oh, telling your fans not to watch. Oh, big move from the big man.
I hope he's trolling. I really do, because he's starting to annoy me. I know I saw the tweet today where he said WWE took his love away from professional wrestling, and now he's gotten it back in AEW. And I'm like, you are annoying me with all your tweets.
Right.
You know what's really is like the craziest thing about this, and this is why I just hope he's trolling. Carmella had came out, a couple of months ago and said what she said about WWE. But then, like, over the past couple of days, she was like, I only said that because I was hurt, honestly. And I love WWE, no ill will to WWE. I was there 12 years, and she said, I was just caught off guard and hurt. And I get that. Like, I totally get that if that's really true from Carmella. But this man just continues to talk
100%.
and talk and talk and talk. And it's like, at what point do you think like we actually care anymore? Because I don't. Like, I don't care.
Right.
And if it's a troll, are we just going to continue to do this until it wears out like your years in WWE? Like,
let's go.
I'm just saying, that's just kind of how I feel if it's a troll.
Hey, Logan Paul. I think this is the same argument that we had right here.
Oh, shit. What do I even say now?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Now you did wait for that. No, and 100% though, Anthony, with your comment about Carmella, money. 100%. I will pay you to shut the fuck up right now. Even if what you're saying is wrong, I will pay you to shut the fuck up. Even that woman that sat there and took an accidental bump off of Austin with his fucking 4-wheel, I will pay you to shut the fuck up right now.
Right.
That is absolutely, I feel with this, and I like though. That is one thing I will say. It's a very double-edged sword of what I like with AEW. Of their talent will have their characters play into social media. Like Ricochet to me has to be trolling at this point. He knows I literally have to say a sentence and it's gonna piss somebody off.
But I think the comment before MDB, it's both. He worked himself into a shoe, brother. Like, I think because when he was a baby face, people were shitting on him, so he got defensive. And then when he turned heel, he was already kind of arguing with the internet community. So now I just think he's like, at first,
you made me what I am. You're the ones that were throwing toilet paper at me and everything. You made this monster.
So yeah, I literally went from like, fuck everybody, I can't stand you, to like, oh, wait a minute, this is kind of fun. Like, haha. And I mean, I don't think it's a good look. I'm surprised he's burning the bridge with the WWE. We all talked about he got one of the nicest send-offs ever. They left the door wide open.
We didn't know if he was actually leaving.
Yeah. Right? So
they didn't believe it until he literally showed up on AEW, because we're like, well, you never know how many people have been thrown out on top of a fucking car.
Right? And again, it's just, it surprises me. And I know what you're saying, Nick. And I think guys like Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens have done a really good job using social media. But you don't see them on there being like, listen, fuckface, you know nothing. You and your 12 subscribers can fuck right off. Like, you never see that kind of shit. We've seen it from like dozens of AEW talent, of very defensive, even babyface ones, very like seeming fragile at times. But I started to like, if he could convert these tweets into like better promos, he'd be excellent.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, we see that even from so-called journalists of, hey, fuckface and all that. But yeah, I think this is also just a bit. I know we've talked about it. We were going to talk about it. It's a bit of an indictment of just the internet wrestling fandom. Of there is very much a select group of the fan base that, like, you don't work there. Like, the company is not your fucking personality. Mm-hmm. Realistically, like, let it go.
Yeah.
He's not your best friend.
It's definitely that, when it comes to certain fans, and Nick is totally right with this, like, you giving off stalker vibes with some of your tweets, like stalker vibes of how
Kevin just saying, stay the fuck away from the airport.
Right, like how wrestlers are supposed to wrestle and how wrestlers are supposed to take certain moves. I've seen Jordan Grace go at certain fans because she took a move wrong or she did a dive wrong or things of that sort. And that's kind of where I'm coming from being a stalker. And it's like, I get that in a way, but Ricochet to me is like a baby. That's just like he's a baby on social media.
Again, it does seem like temper tantrum at times, but I do think there is an element of work to it. But then when he switches into things like, well, WWE made me lose my love for wrestling, now I'm like, now I really think that's true. Like, I think that's him. But we said it. We said it on this channel. Like, he hit a ceiling in WWE. AEW made a lot of sense for him. More money, more opportunity. He can be an AEW world champion. I don't think he could be a WWE world champion.
He drank the Kool-Aid. Why are we mad at the guy that drank the fucking Kool-Aid? He very much of think about it. Would you say right now, and this is a question I'll throw to you and to the floor as a whole, of Ricochet right now, is he higher up or better off than his peak in WWE?
I think maybe equal-ish. Slightly to the not as good.
Anthony,
I feel like it's equal, but I feel like it can be better and get better. But if he continues to do this, even if it is a work, it's just going to turn people off, altogether. And MDB is right. I love Jordan Grace, but she's sometimes a little sensitive on Twitter. But I do think if he continues down this road a little bit, it's going to turn people off, and then it's just going to make his career in AEW worse than what it was.
But has it turned people off when most of what I see, like any sort of match I see with Ricochet, is most people talking about Ricochet? We have a whole moment to where the whole rest of the match is pointing out that he's bald and everything. Like we sat there and had the whole moment to where it was a literal moment to where this man's getting toilet paper thrown on him and everything.
Right.
Like that. Like, I get he's a troll at this point. He's a Twitter troll. He is the IWC barking back at the IWC. But at the same time,
okay,
I think it's working in this aspect because especially A, the company's in, and B, like he's always one of the talking points coming out of any show he's on.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, to an extent, I see what you're saying. But I think ultimately, I mean, I like what he did with the hair thing. Based on like last night when I was watching, I said, Tony Khan, if you ever hear my voice, put Ricochet with the Elite. It works. He is just like them. He's another element.
Diminutive, it doesn't matter. What?
Right? Like, and he's that irritating, pompous side. It works for me. And I'm actually trying to give the man praise because I find the tweeting and the way he goes about it so irritating. Then I just kind of stopped and went, I think he's trying to irritate me and it's fucking working. So, I mean, that's great. Now it's got to go somewhere. I think part of this problem right now is his flex comes with no muscle, right? Like he literally has not done much. I mean, the other day he lost to Mark. Mark never beats anybody. We love Mark Briscoe, but that's the way it is. I just think there's an opportunity there. You got to put these important people that are getting noticed on social media, on YouTube, on wherever, and book them. Book the Harleys, book the Ricochets, book the talent people want to see, and ask Moxley to take a fucking chill pill.
Well, this is when we get back into the whole discussion we're talking about of you have unlimited ammo. You just can't load the fucking gun right. You put every goddamn bullet backwards type of shit. When it comes to AEW, of what the conversation of who's second, who's third. If AEW has the roster they had and could actually book it properly, right, this isn't a discussion. They're WCW. They're what they envision WCW and everything. Instead, they're more just C-dub-dub-dub.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, again, I think the guy's got talent. If this is part of his gimmick, I feel bad. His girl's trying to have a music career, and she's getting a whole bunch of shade just because her husband's a dickhead. It's amazing. It's really poor girl. But again, if they can book it and he accomplishes something, and then it justifies him, he can be, all the dick he wants to be, because what are you going to say to him? He's got gold, but he hasn't accomplished shit, and I'd like to see him do that.
Fair enough.
Fair.
I had one more topic. I think I'm going to skip it because it's a silly one. I guess we'll just tell the world. We won't. I don't know how far we want to go into this. Maybe 2 seconds. Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, and Izzy are opening a new wrestling company, so to speak, as they're bringing in Olympic athletes. They're going real American freestyle wrestling, brother. So yeah. Any 2 cents on this real quick? Or are we shocked? He wants it to be as big as UFC or WWE.
You said 2 seconds. Here's my 2 seconds. I ain't watching.
I was waiting for Anthony just to go, fuck Hulk Hogan. Like,
I'll do that. Fuck
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. Our shit is real. Yeah, no, you can have that. That ain't even what I'm mad at.
Yeah, I mean, a crazy story. I guess we'll follow it and see what this means. But like, legit,
It would
like,
have been better if it was a podcast like you thought it was going to be.
that would have been better probably because it would have bugged less people.
But did anyone else feel like Hogan's new beard of like the spray tan NWO beard is just like the weirdest shit ever? Of like, he's out there taking lessons from Lexus King.
Right. No, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of funny. I mean, they think they're gonna do these matches of like Roman Greco style wrestling, Olympic style wrestling, and they want to go global with it, or they want to go big with it.
People don't give a shit when it's free. Why the fuck are you expecting people to pay for it? Just saying.
All people are gonna be screaming at the TV is like, kick him! Kick him!
Do it, pile driver, suplex, elbow drop.
But with Eric and Hogan, it kind of feels like it's gonna have like is it gonna be predetermined? Like, how are we gonna do it?
Right.
He's gonna slam you in the third round, brother. That doesn't work for me.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, folks, there's a ton of things going on. Any other kind of things bouncing around before we say toodles tonight? Anything else on your minds? Anything else out there? Before we pack it in for this eve and get ready for SmackDown.
I don't know, but I really hope I'm not ahead of you on the game. Just saying. Sorry. But no,
You must be.
Fair enough. But I 100% am I excited for SmackDown of we're very much moving of I view this of you can still be mad about the end of WrestleMania, what have you, Travis Scott, no Dwayne, what have you, but we're on season 42 of WWE right now, and we're in like episode 4. So I'm enjoying what I've seen so far.
Yeah. Last thing on my mind, 2 things actually, because Ken brought it up twice. One with the Leon Slater thing. A lot of fans are upset that he wasn't really caught, but he didn't get hurt. I mean, and they tried their best. I technically don't really care about it, but as long as he's not hurt, I'm fine with it. So that's my number 1 thing. Number 2, TNA is at 10 tonight and it's live. And then number 3, I am excited for SmackDown tomorrow. I'm excited for I'm excited for the match that's just announced for Double or Nothing, Ospreay versus Hangman. I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that. When that match went down last night between Kyle Fletcher and Hangman, that was a phenomenal match. So to get that payoff, them in the finals, I'm excited for that. So there's a lot of good things happening, in the wrestling world right now.
Absolutely. The Leon Slater thing's funny in the sense of you catch him. Like, who are you people? You go catch him. And there was a couple guys that tried, and there was some, kind of shots going back. A couple people may have avoided the situation. But, I mean, again, why are we so upset? Leon's wrestling tonight, I think.
Yes, he's wrestling. Yeah, he's wrestling tonight. I forgot who, but yeah, he's wrestling tonight. So
right.
He's good.
Right? How dare we catch him? No, you catch him.
Can I just say I'm kind of almost mad at the fact that that's even a discussion of like before we wouldn't have even known of somebody's supposed to catch him or anything, that was just him diving onto everybody. The fact that we're having open Twitter arguments of, well, no, you catch him, of AJ Francis, well, I tore my bicep trying to grab him and everything with that. Like, how about we just act like that was a really cool fucking spot and we don't expose the business even more than it's already been exposed? OnlyFans is a fucking thing. Like, can we just keep it that level at least? We don't need to expose it anymore of that somebody's got to be there to catch them and everything.
And just to piggyback off of the exposing the business, you're upset that Leon Slater wasn't, caught, in this move, but you're so happy about Netflix having this backstage show for WWE. Like, make it, I need the consistency. Y'all don't give consistency at all.
Absolutely. I mean, make it make sense, make it fit, make it sensible. And yeah, the lack of consistency blows my mind. I mean, ultimately, you do it. It is my take on it. And we know too much. It's like we know how the magician does the trick. So now it's like we got to get back into that imagination, people. And Hunter may be going a little too far with.
You know how he pulls the rabbit out of the hat? We're just mad now he didn't pull it out fast enough, type of shit.
It's the wrong color he did.
Right. Well, it started off as a white rabbit. And he pulled out a brown rabbit. What the fuck are we doing out here?
It wasn't the rabbit I was cheering for.
That rabbit didn't get over in fucking San Antonio, St. Louis. Right. That rabbit won't job for nobody.
Right. It's just Bunny Hogan. This is bullshit. It's always this one.
When it comes hopping down and it hurts inside.
We will wake people up. Let's go. But again, last night they did a 35-minute 8-man all-star match. And all-star kind of rang true to me real quick. And I thought about this a lot as far as how we view it. Because in a lot of ways, it wasn't a good match. It was, but in a lot of ways, it was a great match. Like, it was a lot of fun. But it is like an all-star game. Like, that's what this becomes, is like at the NBA all-star game, the NHL all-star game, nobody tackles, nobody hits, nobody fouls. I mean, everybody plays nice. Like,
yeah, but I don't tune into week 14 for an all-star game.
Exactly. That's exactly it right there.
I tune in to week 14 to see Cincinnati take on Miami, to see Buffalo take on New England. Oh, I don't tune in to see fucking Josh Allen throwing passes to fucking Justin Jefferson type shit.
It was a good match.
It's cool. It's fucking cool. But no, that's not. If we're building the shit, no.
It was a good match. It was a train wreck at the same time, and not a train wreck in a good way. Like the TLC match from last Friday was a train wreck, but it was a train wreck, a good train wreck where you could understand what was happening. The 8-man tag was all over the place at one point, and I couldn't follow what was happening. So you know, that's kind of how I feel about that match.
And I wish if they were going to try some of these crazy high spots, it didn't look like rehearsal. It didn't look like you know, the 5 guys standing under the trapeze who's about to do a somersault. They're there to catch him in case he misses the next pole. That's a little bit my complaint. The no tagging, the no rules. Like the people were debating the elbow drop spot. I mean, it was fun, but it looks ridiculous to a point.
Again, I'm not tuning in to week 11, week 12, whatever fucking week you want to put on it. Especially when we're building up to a pay-per-view and everything with an all-star game. Like, that's the thing is, and it's so funny because you can break the parts down.
Yeah.
And they would be much better matches. Like if you sat there and gave me the Young Bucks versus Bailey and Kevin Knight. There you go. I guess they're calling them jet speed, what have you, versus the Young Bucks. You give me Kenny versus whoever you're still holding off. Like, we're holding off all the way till July for All In. So, yeah, good match and just, hey, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Hey, we're after the playoffs. Please stay around. You just watched Giannis. You just watched LeBron lose in fucking 4 games, 5 games, all of that. Please stay tuned. But as far as progressing, as far as actually working for your business, I'm not tuning into a fucking regular season game for a mid-season tournament type shit. It's like the NBA when they have their mid-season tournament out there in fucking Orlando.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
If that was the whole season,
it shouldn't be in there involved. But yeah, if you're gonna do it, well, then that's the Owen right there. That's the Owen. Which
that becomes the dilemma, right? Like if it was the All-Star game, every game we're bored. Eventually, it gets we live for, you know. You all just saw me pop out of my chair. We live for this.
Facts. You live to watch the games, to watch the back and forth. If I watch an All-Star game week in and week out, it's no longer an All-Star game. It's just a game.
Right.
I will bring some fingers crossed, knock on wood. Don't want to get ahead of myself, but if we ever get to there, I will happily live stream that shit because it will be an emotional roller coaster.
We will be here for 7 games.
Well, gentlemen, I think we've touched on a lot here tonight. The chat's fun as always. Again, we are back tomorrow for SmackDown. Malachi Black returns. What will Randy have to say? What will we get from John, if anything? We will find out, folks. Lots going on here at the channel. We got so much coming your way. And remember, we are 1 week away from Backlash, so that's pretty crazy. Backlash here already. But any final thoughts, mon frères?
TNA review. I'm back.
Yes.
For the weekend. So yes, keep an eye out for that. That's my last word.
TNA is on at 10 o'clock tonight. Anthony, the best guy covering TNA out there, even brave enough to say it's maybe not number two right yet.
Yeah, just threw a wrench in everybody's plans out here. We were all expecting a fight and a battle, and this man came out of like, I bring you peace. I bring you love.
He gave us the finger poke of doom. We were looking for a match.
Right. We're out here, Kevin Nash and Jeff Jarrett. But why is TNA at 10 o'clock tonight?
I think it's because they're in California. I'm just chalking it up to that, even though other companies do California shows and they air at their same time. I'm just chalking it up to that.
Fair enough. I'll just be out here.
Karaoke night tomorrow where we come up with lyrics. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Folks, again, check out all our socials, Discord, Twitch. We are on Facebook. Go check all our stuff. Be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Don't miss anything. On behalf of Anthony and Big Nick, I am KJ White. Have a good night. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye.